10 Best Places to Visit in Liberia. Liberia has not exactly had the smoothest of journeys. Founded by freed slaves, you could say the country was built on the darker histories of the 18th and 19th centuries. But Liberia also signified a newfound liberation for the returned victims of the slave trade. It meant an armistice to the homeland, and a country to govern all of its own. Here are the 10 best places to visit in Liberia 2020. Number 1. Monrovia. Hectic, frenetic, smooth and sophisticated, at least in its own, very West African way, Monrovia is home to more than 1 million Liberians. The largest city in the country, it is a place of great energy. Rumbling bush taxis float over the potholed roads around the center, while the bustling boulevard of Broad Street, nestled between the meanders of the Meshorado River and the Atlantic Ocean, is a picture of life. Number 2. Sapo National Park. Unquestionably the most famous of Liberia's duo of national parks comes in the form of the Sapo National Park. This 1,804 square kilometer territory of the Upper Quinine rainforest is said to have one of the highest mammal biodiversity counts of anywhere in the world. And boy does it show. Intrepid folk who opt to delve into the old-growth woods will get to spy out pygmy hippopotami and white-crested Diana monkeys, crocodiles, leopards, speckle-throated and otters. Number 3. Robert Sport. The king of all Liberia's surfing spots, and there are quite a few. Robert Sport has positioned itself firmly on the forefront of the country's new tourism drive. Long-haired wave riders with boardwalks in hand now flock to join the surfing troops and hit the rolling Atlantic swells that buffet the likes of Fisherman's Point, Cotton Trees and Cassava. Surf schools are also popping up to get beginner travelers out and onto the waves. Number 4. Buchanan. Located around just 3 hours by rumbling bush taxi south out of the capital at Monrovia, the seaside city of Buchanan is a fine introduction to the coastal character of this part of West Africa. The beaches are all undeveloped to the T, with swaying palm trees and groups of local children playing in the shallows. Many opt to camp here, while others will hit the city itself, seeking out one of the few guest houses that lurk between the frenetic markets and streets. Number 5. Barnga. Barnga might seem just another of the sprawling ramshackle towns that sprout from the sweeping mud plains and forests of inland Liberia, but this regional capital of Bong County has just a little more history and heritage up its sleeve than most. For one, it was the place where the infamous political and rebel leader Charles Taylor coordinated actions of various civil wars across the area during the 80s and 90s. Number 6. Harble. Rubber plantation visitors will find the industrial outpost of Harble straddling the meanders of the Farmington River, just a stone's throw back from the Atlantic coast, where Marshall and the monkey-dotted beaches of the resort towns south out of Monrovia make their home. Famed primarily as the home of the largest rubber plantation in the world, Harble is engulfed by swaths of rubber tree forests, many of which bear the familiar corporate name of Bridgestone tires. Number 7. Bula National Forest. Bula National Forest. The Bula National Forest is the new name for the Lofamano National Park, a great dash of primeval rainforest that sprawls out along the northern border of the country with Sierra Leone. One of the densest remaining tracts of Upper Quinine woodland in the region, the area has everything you'd expect of a real West African wilderness. Yep, you can expect verdant canopies and seemingly endless stretches of colossal tree trunks and boughs. Number 8. Bushrod Island. The island of Bushrod gets its name from one of the few American politicians that actually advocated the resettlement of slaves on the continent back in the 1800s. But that's about as deep as the erstwhile politician, Bushrod Washington's, influence runs in this mangrove-fringed port town on the edge of the Atlantic. Number 9. Marshall. Tourists will really only make a beeline for the oceanside reaches of laid-back Marshall for 2 reasons. The first is its smattering of empty beaches, each backed by verdant pockets of palm forest and mangrove swamps, and perfect for enjoying some truly intrepid camping on the Liberian coast. The second is the small archipelago appropriately named Monkey Island. Here, a troop of feisty chimps inhabit the jungles. Number 10. Swedru. With just 23,000 people making Swedru their home, and a whopping 7-hour drive separating the spot from the country's capital on the coast, this far-flung county seat might not seem like the best place to add to that Liberia itinerary. However, Swedru has a number of interesting features that you simply won't find in the more trodden reaches of the West. For starters, it still retains something of an earthy, industrial vibe, thanks to its fledgling logging enterprises,